Drake Maye changed the conversation in New England before he ever won a game. The Patriots were not looking for a highlight machine or a quick headline. They were looking for a way out. For the first time since Tom Brady left, there was a name that actually made people stop and pay attention. Not hope, not nostalgia, a real reset. The Patriots had reached a dead end. Seasons kept passing with no clear plan at quarterback, and everyone could feel it. Fans showed up, but expectations were low. Games felt heavy, mistakes felt bigger. When a team does not trust its quarterback, nothing else works the way it should. That was the hole New England was stuck in, and it was getting deeper every year. That is why the draft mattered so much. This was not about development or patience anymore. It was about survival in the NFL. Drake Maye was not a safe pick, but safe was no longer good enough. The Patriots needed direction, and whether it worked or failed, this was the moment they decided to finally choose one. The pressure did not disappear once Drake Maye arrived. If anything, it got heavier. He walked into a locker room that had already been through too many losing seasons and too many quick fixes. Veterans wanted answers. Coaches needed progress. Everyone knew the margin for error was small, especially on a team trying to find itself again. New England was not broken everywhere. There were solid players. There was effort. What was missing was trust. On offense, hesitation showed up in small ways. Routes cut short, throws held a second too long. When a team is unsure at quarterback, it spreads fast. That uncertainty was something the Patriots had been living with, and it showed on the field every week. This was the environment Drake Maye stepped into. Not a fresh rebuild, not a clean slate, a team that needed stability more than excitement. Before wins could come, something more basic had to happen first. The Patriots needed to believe they finally had the right guy leading them, and that belief was going to have to be earned. Draft night forced the Patriots to be honest with themselves. This was not a team one move away from winning. This was a team stuck in between, and that is the worst place to live in the NFL. Staying safe meant staying average. Trading down meant pushing the problem forward. At some point, you have to choose a direction and live with it. The third overall pick was not a gift. It was pressure. Around the league, teams knew New England was desperate for a quarterback, and desperate teams get judged fast. Miss on this pick, and the rebuild drags on for years. Hit on it, and everything changes overnight. That is the kind of moment franchises are defined by. So the Patriots made the call, not because it was easy, but because it was necessary. This was about stopping the slide and setting a new course. Once that decision was made, there was no turning back. From here on out, every result, good or bad, would be tied to one choice and one name. Drake Maye did not come into the league as a mystery project. Long before the draft talk and the pressure, he was known as a quarterback who made things look simple. Big frame, strong arm, calm feet. He was comfortable in the pocket and did not panic when plays broke down. Coaches trusted him because he stayed steady, even when things were not perfect. At North Carolina, his game was built on control, not chaos. He made routine throws on time and did not force the ball just to look flashy. When defenses gave him space, he took it. When they pressed him, he stood in and delivered. That balance is what separated him from just being another talented arm coming out of college. What stood out most was how he handled responsibility. The offense ran through him, and he did not shy away from it. Teammates leaned on him. Coaches gave him freedom. Those habits mattered more than highlights because they showed the kind of quarterback he was before the NFL ever tested him. College success changes how people look at you, and Drake Maye felt that shift quickly. Once the wins and big numbers started stacking up, the spotlight followed. Every throw was judged harder. Every mistake became a talking point. That is what happens when expectations grow faster than patience. With that attention came noise. Some focused on his arm strength and size. Others picked at small details, looking for flaws that might not show up on a stat sheet. The conversation stopped being about whether he could play and turned into how great he could become. That kind of talk raises the bar before a player ever steps onto an NFL field. For Maye, the challenge was staying grounded. College football gave him confidence, but it also added weight. He was no longer just trying to win games. He was learning how to carry pressure, handle doubt, and stay steady when opinions started to swing. Those lessons followed him straight into the league. The NFL did not give Drake Maye time to ease in. He was pushed onto the field while the team was still searching for answers. The speed was faster, the hits were harder, and mistakes showed up quick. What worked in college did not always work on Sundays, and he learned that in real time. There were rough moments, plays broke down, pressure came from everywhere. Some games slipped away early, and the score made things look worse than they were. This is the part of the league most fans forget. Before a young quarterback earns respect, he usually takes a beating first. What mattered was how Maye handled it. He did not shrink. He did not point fingers. He stayed in the pocket, took the hit, and came back to the huddle. On a team that had already been through too much losing, that quiet toughness started to stand out. Every young quarterback reaches a moment where the game asks a real question. Not about talent, but about nerve. For Drake Maye, that moment came under the lights, away from home with no margin left. The situation was tight, and playing safe would have been the easy choice. Instead, he trusted his reads and let the ball go. The throws were not perfect, but they were on time. He moved the offense, kept drives alive, and stayed calm when the pressure picked up. In that stretch, the game slowed down for him, and everyone watching could feel it. That night did not fix everything, but it changed how he was seen. Teammates leaned in, coaches opened things up. The noise around the team shifted, because for the first time in a long while, the Patriots looked like they had a quarterback who wanted the moment instead of hiding from it. That stretch of play did something important inside the building. The body language changed, guys played faster, the offense stopped feeling tight. When players believe the quarterback can handle the moment, they stop looking over their shoulder, they just play. That is when a team starts to look different, even before the wins fully show up. Around the league, the talk shifted too. It was no longer just about the Patriots being bad or rebuilding. People started saying the same thing in different ways. They might finally have something here. Not a finished product, not a superstar yet, but a real foundation at quarterback. In the NFL, that alone changes how teams prepare for you. New England was still far from perfect, but perfection was never the goal. Stability was. Direction was. For the first time in years, the Patriots were not guessing anymore. They were building around one clear idea, and it all started once belief replaced doubt. With belief starting to grow, the outside noise got louder. People began asking harder questions. Was this real, or was it just a soft stretch of games? Analysts pointed at the schedule. Critics said the Patriots had not been tested enough. That doubt followed them every week, even when they kept winning. Inside the building, that talk did not matter much. Teams do not choose their schedule. They play who lines up across from them. New England focused on doing the small things right, staying clean on offense and letting their quarterback stay in rhythm. The goal was not to impress anyone. It was to stay steady. Still, the pressure was real. The moment tougher teams showed up, the excuses would disappear. Everyone knew it. That next step was coming, and it was going to show whether this progress was temporary or something that could hold up when the lights got brighter. The playoffs removed all debate. Every snap meant more. Every mistake mattered. This was no longer about promise or development. It was about survival. For Drake Maye, this was a new level of pressure, the kind that exposes young quarterbacks fast. The defense across from him was faster, stronger, and more aggressive than anything he had seen. Hits came quicker, windows closed faster, but instead of backing off, he leaned into it. He stayed aggressive when it mattered and trusted the work he had put in all season. That performance did not look perfect, but it looked real. It showed growth, it showed control, and most important, it showed that the moment was not too big. In the playoffs, that is the line every quarterback has to cross. As the run continued, expectations changed again. What once felt like a bonus season started to feel serious. The Patriots were no longer just happy to be there. They were being judged like a team that could actually make noise. Each week brought a new challenge. Tough road environments, physical defenses, situations where one bad drive could end everything. This is where experience usually wins and young quarterbacks usually get exposed. That was the test sitting in front of New England. What stood out was how calm things stayed. The offense did not press, the quarterback did not force plays. Even when things got tight, the team stayed connected. That composure became their biggest strength as the margin for error disappeared. By the time the season reached its final stretch, the story had fully flipped. This was no longer about how far the Patriots had fallen. It was about how fast they had found their way back into relevance. The question was not if they had a quarterback anymore. It was how far he could take them. Drake Maye was not carrying the team by himself. He did not need to. He was doing exactly what winning quarterbacks do. Making the right throws, managing the moment, letting the game come to him. That is how trust becomes real in this league. No one was calling the Patriots perfect. They did not need to be. What mattered was clarity, direction, a future that finally made sense. And after years of searching, that alone felt like a win worth building on. Blessings to all my subscribers, family. Your support means everything. Stay tuned, stay sharp, and I will catch you in the next one.